Oh, I've just realized my screen's not being shared, so give me 2 seconds. Present. Uh, There we go. That should be sorted now. Apologies for that, guys. Welcome to today's welcome session. If you've not been to one of these sessions before, it's basically an overview of who Darwinex Zero is, what we do, and how we can benefit traders. Now, what we do in today's session is we take a very bird's eye look at everything Darwinex Zero. We don't get too granular and we don't go too in depth because when you really dive into the concepts behind Darwinex Zero and what we do on a granular level, it can get quite confusing. So we do have a dedicated session on Thursday to, is it Thursday? Yeah, on Thursday to actually explaining your Darwin. So that's where we take a look at value at risk, the risk engine, and everything that is kind of a little bit more complex, whereas today is kind of an overview of who we are. So stick with me. These sessions don't last too long. However, it's going to give you a great insight into our business and who we are. So to begin with, my name is Kieran and I'm head of UK growth and business development for Darwinex Zero. I've worked for Darwinex probably for a year and a half now. And I can honestly say that the company has some of the strongest ethics and values in our industry by a country mile. I actually spoke about this the other day. We did an AMA on Thursday last week, and I ended with a little bit of a rant about our industry and about the bad eggs and the players in our industry who don't have traders' best interests at heart. And I genuinely feel like Darwinex sits outside of that for some reasons that we're going to go over today. So Darwinex is actually a regulated asset manager and broker. We're regulated by three different regulatory bodies. So we're regulated by the FCA in the UK, by the CNMV in Spain, and also by the FSA in the Seychelles. We have over 100 million US dollars in AUM from third-party capital and third-party investors in our investor marketplace. And we have over 10,000 active strategies on our market. Now, Darwinex is our sister company or owning company, and Darwinex Zero is kind of the base level entry to the Darwinex ecosystem. This is where we provide you a virtual account to trade where you get all the same benefits as a professional would trading through Darwinex, what we call Classic, but it's actually just our regulated broker. Now, what's really important to highlight about Darwinex Zero is that it is the only place where you can become a professional asset manager with zero risk. Now, yes, you are going to have a monthly subscription if you pay for a Darwinex Zero account. If you went through Darwinex, it would be free because you're trained through the broker, so there is no subscription. But with the virtual account in Darwinex Zero, you'll have a €38 per month subscription. To me, that's not really risk. You know the risk up front, you know how much you're going to be paying for the service, but it is the first ladder or the first rung on the ladder to actually becoming a professional asset manager. And no, I don't say trader, I actually use the word asset manager because we provide you the infrastructure to take on third-party capital from investors in a regulated environment with zero risk. You don't have to go out and gain your own regulations or certificates because it's all held under the Darwinex asset management license, and you don't have to go out and network with investors. So there's zero risk of doing any additional work to what you already do as a trader. On top of that, you're not risking your own capital. You're literally trading with a virtual account and still benefiting from the upside of trading with large capital. You can also develop as a trader through Darwinex Zero using our advanced trading strategy insights. Now, I run sessions every Wednesday where we do a deep dive into the Darwinex advanced insights, and I provide statistical ways to improve your edge and improve your strategy over time. We do this by tracking your trading behavior. We look at everything that you do at a granular level. We measure so many different things that you wouldn't even know existed. And we take a holistic approach at viewing these statistics and implementing new ways to improve. And thirdly, we have a huge community of like-minded traders. Everybody in our Discord has the same vision. We're all looking at it with a long-term approach, and we all want the same goal, which is to grow our AUM instead of just being a one-hit wonder. Now, when I say become a professional asset manager, we actually have a roadmap lined out for you guys. Now, this roadmap, you can go through it as fast as you want, depending on your skill, and it may take you a little bit longer, and that's absolutely fine. There is literally no rush. The first step in the roadmap is the calibration phase. Now, we won't go too into detail on the risk engine and how it performs during the calibration phase, but we do have a proprietary risk engine that reads all of your positions. And what it does is it transfers the risk over to your Darwin and it levels it out at a value at risk of 6.5%. So the calibration phase is just a period of time which usually lasts for 3 weeks where our risk engine assesses your behavior. There's no pass or fail, there's no targets, there's no drawdown limits. All we ask is you trade exactly how you would trading live. No difference, no higher risk to try and get out the calibration phase quicker. It's literally just to read your behavior. Once you've completed the calibration phase, your Darwin, which is your investable index or your index version of your trading strategy, will then be created on the following Monday. You're then entered into the DarwinIA program, which is our in-house monthly competition where you compete with every single trader on our platform for monthly allocations. Now, we do have 2 tiers. We have the silver tier and the gold tier. The gold tier is reserved for traders with longer records who've hit certain performance milestones. And the only real differences between the 2 tiers is that the allocations in gold on a monthly basis are larger and they actually last for longer. So in silver, you have from 30,000 to over 300,000 euros per month in DarwinIA seed capital allocation, which is cumulative. So you can earn it each month and it will stack up on your Darwin. So if you earned 30,000 3 months in a row, for example, at the end of those 3 months, you'd be trading with 90,000 euros. After 3 months in silver, they do start to drop off. So in your 4th month, your first 30,000 would drop off. And then if you gained another 30,000, that would then be added on. So you'd still be trading with 90,000. In DarwinIA Gold, they last for 6 months and they range from 50,000 to 500,000. So the potential to earn performance fees is way, way higher. On top of the DarwinIA program, we also have permanent allocations. We'll go into more detail on these a little bit later on in the presentation. But our permanent allocations is pretty much exactly what it says on the tin. It's an allocation that you have and you trade, but it's there forever. It's permanent. So there are no drawdown limits. There's no time expiries. There's no rules. There's nothing that will trip you up. We're not here to take capital away from you. We're actually here to give as much capital to the best traders. If you can prove to us that you're one of the best traders, we're happy to bring you more and more capital over time. Now, we'll go into permanent allocations and the different plans in a moment. So the next step on the ladder is the investors and prop. So this is our in-house investor marketplace where we have, like I said at the beginning, over $100 million invested on our platform. We don't just cater for traders, we also cater for investors looking to have market exposure or trader exposure without actually having the experience to do it themselves. So an investor can enter Darwinex, invest capital and allocate it to whomever they want to allocate capital to, largely based on performance. Unless you have your own investors who come and invest directly because of you and because they want to invest into you, the rest of the investors kind of do it on a meritocratic basis. If you perform, they want to give you more capital, and that's kind of how that works. And then lastly, we have Darwinex Labs, which is our Darwinex in-house hedge fund. Now, this is supposed to be going live to the public soon, where investors can also invest into the Darwinex fund, which basically trickles through our top traders. So right now, I believe there's about 200 of our Darwins in the Darwinex fund. All it will mean for you as a trader is you will see Darwinex Labs as an investor, but that comes from our hedge fund. We're raising capital for that now, and that's going to trickle through the ranks to all of our top performing traders. So there's 5 ways, there's actually 4 ways that you can earn performance fees with Darwinex. You've got your permanent allocations, the DarwinIA program, investor marketplace, and Darwinex Labs. So we're really trying to create as many ways as possible for you guys to succeed. Now, as I mentioned, the calibration phase, you sign up and get your account credentials. It's going to take approximately 3 trading weeks. It can take longer. It took me longer. Yes, I'm also a trader, so I use Darwinex Zero, and I've been through the calibration phase many, many times. Unless you're scalping, you're not going to have an issue. If you're a swing trader, you still might not have an issue, but sometimes it can take a month or a few weeks more, depending on how frequent you trade and how consistent you are with your risk and exposure. Like I said, once you come out the calibration phase, your Darwin is therefore then created, and you're then open to allocations. As soon as your Darwin is created, you'll be competing in that month's DarwinIA competition. Again, DarwinIA Silver and Gold, they're two different levels. It's run as a monthly competition, and this does run in tandem with permanent allocations. So it's not a one or the other kind of thing. You will, as long as you have the Darwin, you'll automatically be in the DarwinIA program. Now, DarwinIA Silver, the way we work out how much allocation you earn on a monthly basis is we give you a rating. Now, that rating is based on 3 different metrics. The first metric is your current month's return. Your second metric is your previous 5 months return, so 6 months return overall. And then the third metric is your maximum drawdown over the previous 6 months. So we're basically taking a snapshot of 6 months performance and giving you a rating based on that. Every trader has a rating in the platform, and each rating corresponds to a different value of allocation at the end of that month's version of DarwinIA. The only difference with this in gold is that gold doesn't take into account the 5 months return and the max drawdown. It's literally just looking at current performance. So it's just taking your current month's return, and that's how it's ranked in gold. But for the most of you guys, until you get to gold, this is what you're going to be looking at. All I will say is don't obsess over your rating. Don't obsess over trying to hit a certain score. Just trade naturally, and the results will come if you have a profitable edge over time. Again, permanent allocations, it's very, very self-explanatory. You go into your dashboard, you activate the add-on. What's important to note is permanent allocations are optional. You don't have to have one. A lot of our traders have, in fact, a large portion of Darwins have actually opted to include a permanent allocation in their account. However, it is optional but recommended. Once your Darwin reaches a selected percentage growth target, it will be activated on your account unless you choose the instant option, and at that point, the allocation will be allocated instantly to your account. And then, like I say, it's allocated permanently. There's no reason or no way that we're ever going to take it off you. We won't pull it for any drawdown limits. We won't time you on it. There's no target. Once you've passed the growth phase, or if you have it instantly, you'll be earning performance fees on a high watermark basis. So here's the different plans. We have the 20%, the 50%, the 10, the 5, and the 0. The 0% is just the instant allocation. As soon as you've activated, it will therefore be active on your account. Any trades moving forward will earn performance fees on that 100,000 euros. The 5%, 10, 15, and 20, you have to hit that return after activating it before the 100K is allocated to your account. So for example, if your Darwin quote is 100 and you activate the 5% option, you would need your Darwin quote to go up 5%, so 105, before the 100,000 euros is active on your account. Pretty self-explanatory. The majority of our traders go for the instant option or the 5%. But we also include, if you purchase a 3-year plan, we include a coupon for the value of a 15% 15% permanent allocation, but you don't have to use the 15%. You can put it towards a different permanent allocation if you want. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning, we do distinguish the difference between Darwinex Zero and Darwinex. Darwinex is our regulated broker. Darwinex Zero is the virtual version of, using all the same infrastructure, all the same technology, and the same roadmap to get to the same goal, which is scaling your investor capital as a trader. The road is exactly the same. You do exactly the same things, but if you get to a point where you don't want to pay the subscription fees anymore, or you want to be risking your own capital, you can migrate your track record from Darwinex Zero to Darwinex Classic at any time, and we won't get rid of your record. So if after 6 months or a year, for example, you decided, actually, my trading's going pretty well, I'd rather trade my own capital and keep 100% of the money that I make, outside of the DarwinIA and investor allocations, that is, I want to trade with a broker, well, happy days. We will migrate your track record so that you keep the record for forever, so that investors don't see that your record's chopped and changed and restarted, and you will be trading as normal. Now, the most overlooked aspect of Darwinex, I believe, is the trading statistics and insights that we give you. And actually, we're looking to build on this. We're looking to build out a trading journal as well that comes with kind of a full suite package. So with your account, with your Darwin, with all access to all the allocations, we want you guys to have a trading journal as well. At the moment, we're giving you the most advanced insights on the market, but I want to get to a point where you can also journal your trades alongside that. So whilst you know your sharp ratios, you know your maximum adverse excursions, you know your you can run a Monte Carlo test, you know your alpha cap, all of these kinds of things. You can also log on an individual basis. Okay, this was a euro dollar trade. Here's a screenshot. Here's my notes. This is what happened, etc., etc. At the moment, it's split into 3 categories: your return and risk, which basically looks at your P&L from kind of a bird's eye view. We then look at assets and timeframes. So we're looking more about the different variables that you wouldn't necessarily think of. So when are you most profitable in terms of days of the week, times of the day, on what assets, etc. Then we have the strategy analysis, which is where we kind of get more granular and we look at the more advanced metrics like your maximum excursions. Now, I won't go too deep into this because it is quite a complex topic. And like I say, I would recommend if you want to dive into this a little bit further, then you join the session on Thursday for the Darwin explanation, because I go into value at risk like in much more detail. But we standardize risk for all of our traders at Darwin level to 6.5%. So that means we are basically making a fair playing field where just because one trader is willing to risk more doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to make a better return. So you might have made 50%, your friend next to you might have made 500% over a 12-month period, but at Darwin level, you might have both made 40% because we will have risk adjusted every single trade at Darwin level. Now, it doesn't mean that we're taking anything away from anybody, and we even increase certain traders' risk. So if a trader's trading at a very low risk level, we do scale them up as well, which happens a lot more than people think. But the reason we do that is because 6.5% is the standard volatility of the S&P 500. So we try and mirror that for our traders. So any investor that comes into the platform knows that investing in a trader is they're generally going to have as much volatility as you would see investing in the S&P 500, hopefully with a better return long term. Now, on the signal account risk management chart, which is actually on your strategy analysis tab on your DarwinX Zero dashboard, you can see we've highlighted the line for 6.5% here. Whilst it's trading above it, because this does update in real time, so it is adjustable over time. While it's trading above that level, the risk engine will be scaling the trader's size down at Darwin level. So let's say at the beginning of this chart, it looks like they're trading roughly 13.5% value at risk, which will mean that's double the standard 6.5%. So the risk engine will be scaling them down by half. You take 10 lots, the Darwin takes 5 lots. As it trades down, the disparity between the two is going to get less and less. When you cross the 6.5% mark, we actually are going to start scaling the trader up at that point. Now, when the further down that they go on the value at risk chart, the higher their risk multiplier goes. So at the bottom of this, they might have been trading a 1 lot and their Darwin trading a 10 or 15 lot. It all depends on their current value at risk. Now, as I mentioned, our trading community is growing at a ridiculously fast pace. I think we have 9,600 members in our Discord. So we are coming up to 10,000 members, which is insane to think. I think when I first started with Darwinex, our Discord was at like 3,000 members. So it's been really, really nice to see the immense amount of growth that we've had over the past kind of 2 years. It is full of like-minded traders. There's no people in there preaching the wrong message. Everybody, sees trading as a long-term goal, as a career, or wanting to become an asset manager, and not just a get-rich-quick scheme. We also have a partner program for anybody who creates content or anybody who wants to push the same message as us. We love to work with traders who have the right mentality, who push the right message, and who gets the message out to lots of different people. So if you do have an audience and you want to work with DarwinX Zero, please just send me a direct message on Discord or send us an email at info@darwinxzero.com, and I'll be happy to set up a call and we can have a chat about ways that we can work together. And every single trader on the platform has something called a member get member code, or an MGM code. That basically allows you to refer your friends, family, your aunts, dogs, sisters, mums, nan, to DarwinX Zero. And if you do, for every referral that you bring, you'll get a 3-month subscription. So if you manage to bring 12 people to DarwinX Zero, you're going to get 12 months free subscription. So again, it gets even less risky. There's zero risk and now there's minus risk. Currently, we're also running a discount for 10% off using the code DWX10, and that's valid for 1 month, 1 year, and 3 year subscriptions. Now, remember with the 3-year subscription, I did mention that we have with the 3-year subscription, you also get a coupon code for the value of up to, I think it's 220 euros, but it may have increased, but it's in line with the value of a 15% permanent allocation. You don't have to use it for the 15% one. Again, you can put it towards one of the different permanent allocations, but it's just important to know it's the value of the 15%. So guys, I mean, there's not too many people in the audience at the moment. I'm presuming it's because the sun is out in the UK and I'm actually running the session an hour later than I usually do. So I need to change the time on that. I was here set up at 4 p.m. Didn't realize I was an hour early, so I need to change the time. But if you've got any questions, please drop them in the Discord or in the YouTube or X chat now. And in the meantime, let's stay in touch. If you guys have any further questions, you feel free to email us at info@darwinxzero.com. If you are in the Discord, the best place to get in touch with us is by direct messaging me. I'm in the Discord all the time. Just make sure you're actually DMing the correct account. I have a little orange tick next to my name, so you'll always be able to find me over the many fake accounts that I get on a daily basis. Also, make sure you're following all of our channels. And like I said, we do run multiple live streams throughout the week. So tomorrow I'll be doing a strategy development session in the afternoon. I believe that's at 4 p.m. UK time as well. Then on Thursday, we'll be having an AMA and a Darwin explanation session. So make sure you come to those sessions, guys. I'm going to cut the stream here because we don't seem to have any questions. So I will hopefully catch you all tomorrow. Have a fantastic evening, everyone, and I'll catch you later.